If you found this video or this video found you, you are on this frequency to receive the message. I want to ask you to please stay, even if it's just for a little while, to see if this is something that resonates with you. I have a question to ask you, maybe two. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, I'm so glad you're here again, and thank you for the support. The question I have for you is a simple one, but the question is, what are you seeking? In those moments that you have where you are on your own, in those moments where you are quiet, when you think about life or when you think about your existence, what is it that you are seeking? When you are working so hard, when you are maybe praying or doing rituals, what is it that you are seeking? I have the answer for you, but that would be no fun if I just give you the answer. So I was bringing to you over the last few weeks some insights into where you are, where you're going. We took a peek into the realm of the gods and goddesses. I brought back messages from there. But today I just want to emphasize I want to emphasize that you are already everywhere in every dimension. You are already united with the Supreme Consciousness, with the all that is. You are there where you understand everything. You are there where your spirit moves without constraint. You are there now. Everything happens in the now, remember. So you might say to me, but why can't I access that or know or feel it, or how do I do it? So let's look at what I mean, and that will give you also insight into yourself, into what is driving you, what your true desires are. So I think it was in the video about the spider goddess, last week's video, that I mentioned that it is almost like an entrance hall where I saw the goddesses. It's almost like an entrance hall to the higher dimensions, because after that everything opened up and I could move higher, and that was a more ethereal experience, if I can use that word. It makes sense because the realm of the gods and goddesses is the fourth dimension, and like I've said when I started, we reside in all dimensions. We are not necessarily aware of it. So what we are busy doing in this physical realm, what you are busy with every day, if you put your attention to it, if you direct your focus, you are busy remembering. You are actually waking up to the fact that you are residing in all dimensions, that you are everything. So in the fourth dimension, there is no unity consciousness yet. In certain schools of mysticism, it is believed that from the fourth dimension, the matrix is projected onto us, and also the chakra system and things like that. It is not so difficult to enter the realm, but it is not a place where you should just barge in. So there's a renowned Sufi, and I can't remember his name, who taught that we should enter, or that we could enter from the sixth or the fifth dimension. We could enter the fourth dimension because then it's less noticeable. Because in that realm, there are things that are not necessarily for our best, and we have to be very strong in our spirit and have some knowledge of who we are to be able to navigate the space. So that brings me to the symbol that has been recurring for, I suppose, almost 2 months now, for me as I traveled, almost like a key, almost like a portal, or something that appears before I could enter more deeper states of consciousness, or before I could enter higher realms, and that is the symbol of the moth. I saw the moth more than once, specifically as something that Source wants me to bring to your awareness. It is because this will tell you something about your journey. The moth navigates by the light of the moon. That is why they will fly into light sources, because they get confused. They use the moon as a navigation tool. Spiritually, as a symbol, the moth has always been associated with death and life. The moth brings regeneration, stands for regeneration, for deeper consciousness also. But it is significant that the moth flies in the dark. So for this collective listening, you have to face every aspect of yourself. You have to uncover those parts of you that are still in the dark. That it does not mean those are negative parts. It is just parts that are hidden. Because as you journey in the dark, the light of the moon, the feminine energy, will guide you in discovering the deeper aspects of yourself. And as you discover this, you will start to experience more and more freedom. The symbol of the moth tells you, do not be afraid to fly in the dark. Actually, there is nothing to fear. There's nothing that you can discover that will be bad for you. We are led more and more to accept every part of us. So we are invited to fly fearlessly, guided by the feminine energy of the moon. So just like the moth is nourished as it drinks the nectar in the night, you will be nourished on this flight of exploration. So the answer to the question I asked in the beginning, what are you seeking, will be the same for us. But depending on the frequency we are at, we may not realize that. The question is always, who am I? The question is to uncover all aspects of the self. Because, like I've said, you do reside in full unity with Source. And then as you reside in the dimensions that are lower and lower, more dense, where you are expressed as a human being, for instance, there you feel more separate, a separateness from Source. If we have feelings of gratitude, of love and of peace, we are in a higher vibrational state. And if we practice to keep that vibrations, then it becomes much more easier to access higher states of consciousness. You don't have to do rituals or specific practices. You can literally, in a second, be in a different dimension. The only thing that keeps you from that, the only thing hindering you, are the beliefs that you cling to, because they are serving you in a way. They might, for instance, give you a false sense of security. They are masking a fear that you have. Fear of the unknown, fear of what other people will say, fear that you will lose your identity, fears that are all ego-based, fears that you have because you don't know who you are. So it is really an adventurous journey. It's a hero's journey to reach the point where you can fully see yourself and be yourself and meet yourself in the different dimensions. And the hero's journey is the journey of the moth that flies into the dark, guided by the light. For this collective, what came through very strongly is the feminine energy that is there for you. It's gender neutral. We both have masculine and feminine energy. Now is the time in your life where you should surrender to the feminine energy more than be in your masculine energy, where you think you should do things to navigate your life or to create your life. You should allow things to happen. So the actions you should take is one of allowance, one of trust, one of faith. So I saw the moth, then I saw the swan. The swan is a feminine energy symbol. It is grace. The environment of the swan is also water, the element that flows, that are so strong and powerful. So the beautiful neck of the swan then morphed into the serpent, which is also a feminine energy symbol, and then it morphed into a sea turtle. And what was so strange, I saw it in the morning and in the evening when I wanted to watch a movie. The first movie that came up when I said full movies on YouTube, because I haven't got Netflix, was the movie of Terry Pratchett, where you have the world, the flat disc world, that are on top of 4 elephants that are standing on a sea turtle. So the sea turtle is also a feminine energy. The turtle swims effortlessly in the ocean. It is protected, it is wise. All those aspects will carry you forward from now, as it has always. But if you surrender to this energy, the energy that wants to carry you forward, you will find more peace and you won't feel that resistance. As we experience the presence of these energies, we can anchor it back into this dimension, and we integrate it in our body, and our body carries more light. So as we see ourselves more clearly, we are filled with peace, and we are filled with a love that cannot be explained for everything around us and for ourselves. And the way we exist, even in this dimension, completely change. I want to say happy exploring, because what else? And I love you so much. We are all teachers. We learn from each other. We are all source energy, and we all meet on the different levels of consciousness. Isn't it wonderful? I'm sending you my infinite love till I speak to you again in the next video. Goodbye.